The doors of the courthouse creak open, admitting a wave of cool morning air. Reporters jockey for position at their assigned stations. Cameras clicking and microphones poised. But the real drama lies inside, far beyond the reach of the camera lens. The highly polished wooden floors gleam under the overhead lights, mirroring the tense faces of the family as they start to filter in. Christine is the first to enter, her posture rigid, her heels sharp on the floor. She carries herself with a deliberate air of control, yet beneath the composed exterior, a maelstrom brews. Her eyes flicker around the room, noting every familiar face, every watcher whose regard might hold judgment or curiosity. Kody follows, taking a seat next to Robyn, who fidgets with her fingers, her nails tapping lightly against the edge of her seat. She casts a nervous glance at Meri, sitting a few rows ahead, her expression neutral, unreadable. Meri's eyes, however, betray a flicker of curiosity, an unspoken question, a silent acknowledgement that today could change everything. Janelle lingers near the back, her presence calm but watchful, like someone trying to assess the situation from a safe distance. Each member of the family has an invisible weight of his own, but together they fill the room with tension that is almost palpable. The judge enters, a stern figure of authority, his gavel striking once, sharply, and the murmurs of the room die instantly. "We are here for the matter of the Brown family dispute," he begins, his voice echoing in the quieted room. Kody swallows hard, shifting slightly in his seat. Today is no ordinary hearing. This session represents months of whispered arguments, sleepless nights, and decisions made in the shadows. One misstep could unravel everything he has built, and everyone in the room can sense it. The first witness is called forward, a longtime family friend whose loyalty has ebbed and flowed over the years. Christine's jaw clenches as she listens, eyes narrowing. She knows how even the subtlety of the witness's words might tip the balance of perception against her, or worse, against Kody. Anticipation is etched across Robyn's face as she leans forward. Every nuance of this testimony counts, and it may hang in the balance with each pause or stutter. Janelle's eyes sharpen, warning silently not to react too quickly. Meri remains stoic, yet the slight twitch of her fingers betrays the stormy activity beneath the unruffled surface. The witness begins, relating a dinner conversation from years prior, innocuous then, but now riddled with implication. Christine's eyes flicker with recognition. She remembers every word, every glance. Robyn shifts in her chair as the undercurrent of tension crackles around her like electricity in the air. Kody's hands, resting on his lap, are tense, knuckles white from trying to compose himself. The courtroom listens intently to every syllable that escapes the witness's lips. The witness's voice catches slightly as they relay what they had witnessed. Hushed conversations, promises made and broken, tensions that always seemed to simmer just below the surface. Christine presses her lips into a thin line, biting back a reaction she knows could serve to reveal her emotions. Robyn exhales softly, trying to steady herself as old memories arise, moments she had buried deep, thrust now into the light of scrutiny. Meri's posture is rigid, her eyes narrowing ever so slightly as she calculates, weighing how this testimony might shift alliances and perceptions. Janelle's fingers drum softly on the bench, impatience and trepidation wrestling within her. The lawyers begin their questioning, gentle at first, then gradually more probing. Each question feels like a ripple across a still pond, disrupting the fragile surface of composure the family tries to maintain. Kody responds carefully, words measured, yet subtle signs of strain appear. a slight quiver in his voice, a nervous glance downward, the tightening of his jaw. At times, the witness hesitates, eyes darting around, conscious of the weight of his testimony. At one point, Christine gets up, her voice even but cutting, relating an incident from several months earlier that no one else in the room has heard. The memory plays out in detail, her words painting the scene with precision. The glare that was exchanged, the words left unsaid, the tension that rippled through the family like some kind of hidden current. Robyn instinctively leans forward, emotion rising to her eyes as she recalls her part in it. Kody swallows, wordlessly imploring calm, knowing that one misstep could push the argument over the edge. The courtroom is heavy with anticipation as the witness reveals a detail that nobody expected, a private conversation contradicting Kody's prior claims. The soft sound of gasps echoes around the room. Christine's eyes narrow, not in surprise, but in some calculated acknowledgement of the shift in power. Robyn's lips part slightly, caught between shock and concern. Meri sharpens her gaze, reading the room, reading everyone's reactions. Janelle's hands tighten on her bag, realizing the weight of what has just been revealed. As the testimony continues, subtle alliances begin to form. Whispers of old hurts, suppressed anger, unspoken understandings drift like a silent current. Kody's spine stiffens in his seat, knowing that the next words could quicken the balance. The lawyer presses on, the questions becoming sharper, delineating the situation piece by piece, leaving Kody to make his way with extreme caution in this web of former decisions and present-day scrutiny. Meri rises to give her side, her voice even, its undertone heavy with authority. She reveals a conversation held behind the closed door. The repressed strain in every word slices through layers of emotion she will not betray openly. Robyn listens closely, heart pounding, as details she never suspected might rise to the surface begin to surface. Christine fidgets in her seat, defensive yet attentive, recognizing the shift of influence with each new revelation. Kody swallows hard, realizing even his carefully built narrative is beginning to crack. The judge silently observes, a figure of unbending neutrality, while his gaze scans the room in observation of reactions, body language, and shifting energies between family members. Each pause, each stutter, each raised eyebrow is scrutinized with the preciseness of a surgeon. The courtroom becomes a stage on which every emotion is magnified, every latent tension laid bare. As the first session progresses, the witness gives one last piece of information, a detail of years gone by, one that could redefine their understanding of the family's past decisions. Christine exhales slowly, as a mix of relief and concern flashes into her eyes. Robyn's hands shake a little as she tightly clutches her purse, her emotions raw and unfiltered. Kody sits forward, leaning subtly toward the judge, the weight of responsibility weighing him down. The gleam in Meri's eyes is cautious yet confident, though Janelle shifts to brace herself for whatever turn this unfolding drama might take. The session closes with subtle but tangible tension, with the witness having stepped down from the stand. The room remains in a silence suspended in time. Cameras flash randomly, though inwardly the family carries the weight of what has just been disclosed. Kody contemplates what happens next, while Robyn tries to absorb the emotional impact of the testimony. Christine reclines back an inch, her measured calm disguising the whirlwind inside. Meri maintains her composed exterior, yet the slight tightening of her jaw hints at the judgments forming within. The eyes of Janelle flick to the doorway, her mind on what the next session may bring. The gavel falls once more, and a brief recess is declared. But the courtroom is far from relaxed. Muffled murmurs of conversation sweep among the onlookers. None of the family members get to their feet, each lost in their thoughts, aware that today has set the tone anew, one where nothing can be taken at face value, and every word spoken carries weight far beyond the walls of the courtroom. The courthouse is quiet now. The morning bustle has been replaced by a tense, almost suffocating stillness. Weak sunlight filters through tall windows and casts long, stretching shadows across the polished floors. Robyn sits stiffly beside Kody, her fingers intertwined, knuckles white. Her eyes dart toward Meri, who sits a few rows ahead, calm yet calculating. Even in her composed demeanor, a flicker of curiosity flashes across her eyes. Janelle leans back, arms crossed, her mind racing, weighing every detail that may emerge in this pivotal session. Christine stands, her eyes fixed on the judge as he calls the court to order once more. "We will move forward with the next witness," the judge says, his words reverberating within the silent room. Kody adjusts his position, slightly, attempting to keep himself composed, but the tension of his shoulders betrays the anxiety he feels. Robyn's grip on his hand tightens. Meri's expression isn't readable, while Janelle watches in both anticipation and concern. The witness is called to the stand, a person no one expected, a former close confidant of Kody who has remained silent for years. Their mere presence sends a ripple of tension through the courtroom. Christine's eyes narrow. A small, knowing smirk crosses her face, as if this is the moment she had long expected. Robyn leans forward, her heart racing, knowing this testimony may bring to light what has been kept in the dark for far too long. Kody swallows, a bead of sweat forming at his temple. The witness starts talking, relating a series of private conversations, moments that were never meant to see the light of day. They speak of alliances shifted, promises broken, and decisions made in shadows. Each word is measured but full of implication, exposing the fractures in family dynamics. Christine listens closely, eyes sharp, ready to pounce on each word that will support her case. Robyn struggles to maintain composure. Her chest tightens as memories she had suppressed resurface with each statement. The lawyer steps forward, continuing to press the witness with very pointed questions. The witness stutters, then drops a detail nobody expected, a private conversation that directly contradicts Kody's previous statements in court. Gasps ripple softly around the courtroom. Kody's face whitens, his jaw clenching. Christine leans forward a little, eyes glinting with triumph, while Robyn swallows hard, fighting the wave of emotion that threatens to break through. Meri's lips press together, her serene exterior now showing subtle signs of intrigue. Janelle's hands involuntarily clenched, her mind racing with the implications of this revelation. The courtroom is electric with tension. The witness continues, providing more context, texts, emails, and conversations that paint a picture far more complicated than anyone anticipated. Robyn's mind is racing, replaying moments in her head that she thought were private, realizing now that they each carry weight in this courtroom. Kody's hands twitch slightly as he tries to maintain control over his composure, knowing every bit of movement is under scrutiny. Christine's demeanor is sharp, waiting to use any inconsistencies to her advantage. A hush befalls the room as the witness describes a sensitive incident, a confrontation between Kody and one of the wives that had been deliberately kept from the others. The air is heavy with tension, static. Robyn bites her lip as emotion crosses her face. Meri leans back, weighing the reactions of every person in the courtroom against one another. Janelle looks toward the gallery, as though even outsiders can feel the storm brewing. Christine rises again. Her voice is steady, yet commanding. she recalls moments from the past, the dates and times presented with the precision of someone who knew how important they'd become. She outlines decisions made by Kody that affected everyone, family decisions shrouded in secrecy, and confronts him directly. The courtroom holds its collective breath as Kody listens, his carefully managed narrative beginning to unravel. Tears well up in Robyn's eyes as she remembers what such decisions have meant to her on a personal level. Meri doesn't flinch, but there's a slight nod acknowledging the truth. Janelle's fingers drum nervously on her purse, unable to look away. Suddenly, a new piece of evidence is introduced, a series of text messages between Kody and a third party, revealing conversations that contradict his statements in prior hearings. The judge pauses, letting the gravity of the moment sink in. Kody's eyes widen, his composure fraying at the edges. Robyn exhales sharply, emotion coursing through her as she processes the implications. Christine leans forward slightly, satisfaction tempered with anticipation. Meri studies Kody's reactions carefully, while Janelle braces herself, sensing the intensity about to peak. The witness continues, exposing private moments that reveal not only the choices Kody has made, but also the emotional aftermath on the wives. Robyn's voice slightly trembles as she interrupts to add context to what had been said, revealing layers of emotional complexity the court had not heard before. Christine listens and calculates every word. Meri remains stoic, but weighs the implications inwardly. Janelle's eyes glisten as she contemplates the hidden fractures within the family. The session becomes increasingly intense. Christine's tone sharpens as she addresses the court, recounting moments when she was betrayed or misled. Robyn speaks up, her voice breaking at times, yet filled with a quiet strength. Every word, every pause, is weighted with emotion in the courtroom. Kody sits rigid, absorbing the barrage of accusations and revelations, realizing that the way forward is far from certain. Meri's calm gaze never wavers, but there's a flicker of emotion in her eyes, a recognition of the truth laid bare. Janelle leans forward, captivated, feeling the raw tension in every corner of the room. Then the unexpected happens. A different witness, one not called so far, is brought forward. It is a shocking presence. Immediate and visible reactions cross the family's faces. Kody furrows his brow, Robyn widens her eyes, Christine purses her lips into a thin line. Meri actually raises an eyebrow, intrigued by the new turn of events. Janelle's fingers tighten on her bag as anticipation and anxiety course through her. The new witness begins their testimony, recounting events that no one had anticipated. Conversations, hidden exchanges, and moments of deception are brought into the light. The weight of this testimony hangs over the courtroom, thick and suffocating. Robyn's breathing quickens as she tries to process each revelation. Kody's knuckles whiten as he grips the bench, trying to maintain composure. Christine leans forward, eyes narrowed, ready to exploit any inconsistency. Meri remains composed, yet there's a glimmer of anticipation as the new information unfolds. The lawyer presses the witness further, extracting details that reveal shifting alliances and hidden motives. Christine's face hardens, recognizing the opportunity to solidify her position. Robyn's eyes tear up as she relives moments she had hoped would remain private. Kody's face tightens, tension visible in every line, aware that one misstep could have lasting consequences. Meri studies the witness carefully, reading their demeanor and tone for hidden truths. Janelle's heart races, captivated by the unfolding drama. As the session nears its close, the witness delivers a final, explosive piece of information, a secret conversation that could alter the perception of Kody's leadership, trustworthiness, and relationships within the family. The courtroom gasps. Kody's jaw tightens, the color draining from his face. Robyn leans forward, whispering a quiet affirmation to herself, bracing for what comes next. Christine's smirk wavers, a fleeting acknowledgement of the power of this revelation. Meri's eyes glint with quiet satisfaction, while Janelle exhales slowly, mentally preparing for the fallout. The judge orders a brief recess. The strike of the gavel is like a heartbeat in the room. The family does not get up, astonished by what has just been brought to light. A ripple of hushed conversations spreads among the onlookers. Reporters are writing furiously. Kody sits ramrod straight, Robyn's hand lying gently on his arm. Christine's eyes narrow now, thinking of the next step. Meri's face is a mask of composure, though her mind is working out the angles. And Janelle steels herself for the remainder of this heavy session. The courtroom feels heavier now, the tension almost palpable. Morning sunlight has given way to harsh, artificial overhead lights. Kody sits rigidly, every muscle tense. Robyn leans forward slightly, her fingers interlaced but shaking ever so subtly. She's running over every word from the previous witness, every hidden detail now coming to the fore with relentless intensity. Christine sits poised, an articulate mask of control, eyes narrowing as she surveys the reactions of everyone in the room. Meri's calm exterior remains intact, yet a subtle tightening of the jaw hints at the storm that will brew within her. Janelle sits slightly apart, her eyes darting from Kody to the witnesses, silently calculating what this session might reveal. The judge clears his throat, and the room falls silent immediately. "We will continue with the testimony," he declares, his voice firm. Kody swallows, and the dry scratch of his throat betrays his nervousness. He is all too aware that the next few minutes could reframe all that he had assumed was under his control. Robyn squeezes his arm lightly, a mix of reassurance and shared anxiety. But neither of them can escape the weight upon their shoulders. Christine leans forward, eyes sharp, ready to exploit any crack in Kody's composure. The next witness is called forward, a person who has watched the family dynamics for years, carrying insights Kody never could have imagined seeing the light of day. Their voice carries a quiet authority, commanding attention without the need for dramatics. They begin to recall moments of tension between Kody and the wives, detailing private interactions, whispered conversations, and decisions made behind closed doors. The courtroom absorbs every word. The air is thick with unspoken consequences. Robyn's eyes well up as she listens, recalling events she had long buried. Every revelation cuts like a knife, exposing vulnerabilities and unspoken resentments. Kody shifts uncomfortably in his seat, aware that even the smallest reaction could be interpreted as guilt. Christine's lips press into a thin line, the faintest smirk playing at the corner of her mouth as she calculates the impact. Meri's gaze is steady, analytical, and Janelle's hands clench nervously in her lap. The witness continues, recounting an incident that took place months ago, one that Kody had assumed forgotten. The room is silent, except for the soft scratch of pens and the occasional cough. Christine's eyes flash with anticipation, sensing an opportunity to solidify her position. Robyn shifts uncomfortably, memories flooding her mind, while Kody's jaw tightens, the tension visible in every line of his face. Meri leans slightly forward, attentive, analyzing both the testimony and the reactions it provokes. Janelle can barely breathe as the story unfolds, captivated by the emotional weight of the revelations. The witness suddenly stops, leaving the courtroom in a pregnant silence. Then, with deliberate care, comes the revelation of a detail previously unknown. A private text, a conversation hidden from the family, an unspoken betrayal. Gasps ripple through the room. Robyn's hand rises to cover her mouth, her heart hammering. Kody's eyes widen, disbelieving, a flicker of fear crossing his features. Christine leans forward, a glimmer of triumph in her eyes. Meri tilts her head slightly, calculating. Janelle's fingers dig into the edge of the seat, anticipation mingling with dread. Each question chipped at the blocks of concealment that Kody had built up. It took the witness deeper into those moments in time that showed Kody made decisions that cracked the trust between them and let his family down emotionally. Robyn listened, her breathing shallow, between shock and the urge to defend herself, her children, and her perspective. Christine's sharp eyes did not move an inch from the witness, like a predator about to jump for any inconsistency. Kody swallowed hard, as he knew each word was tearing his narrative apart. Thread by thread, the testimony suddenly turned in an unexpected direction when the witness stated a secret conversation between Kody and one of the wives, a conversation that had never come to light for years. Its content is an attack on Kody's character, secretive decisions, and broken promises, all hidden from the others. Robyn's eyes glistened with tears, her chest tightening with the emotional burden of the revelations. Christine smirked less, the sharpness of a strategist replaying the next move. Meri's face remained impassive, but her eyes seemed to dance with a hint of satisfaction. Janelle leaned forward slightly, her mind racing with the ramifications that were sure to come. Kody attempts to respond, his voice measured but strained. Every word feels like a delicate balancing act. Too much, and he risks incriminating himself. Too little, and he loses control of the narrative. Robyn grips his hand for support, but even her presence cannot shield him from the emotional barrage cascading around them. Christine rises to interject, her tone calm yet piercing, dissecting the witness's account and highlighting inconsistencies. Suddenly, a piece of evidence, photos, text messages, emails, is presented that substantiates some claims of the testimony Kody denied. The courtroom erupts with murmurs, like a wildfire. Kody flushes pale and leans forward, his mind stunned by the implications. Robyn's lips quiver, her face between disbelieving and angry. Christine's eyes spark in triumph. And Meri's position conveys silent acknowledgement. Janelle's heart beats faster as she grapples with the implications of what this all will mean to everyone. The session heats up. Christine is the first to confront Kody directly, recounting specific moments she felt misrepresented, manipulated, or just plain neglected. The air tightens with emotion, tension building upward like a huge wave. Robyn's voice breaks as she adds her input, recounting times of fear, frustration, and heartbreak. The room falls completely silent. All eyes on Kody, who tries hard to respond. Meri remains composed, taking in each exchange, while Janelle fidgets nervously, hands clasped on her lap, mesmerized by the high stakes. Then, the unthinkable happens. A surprise witness is called, someone who holds information even Christine did not anticipate. The room reacts instantly. Kody's eyes widen, his composure faltering. Robyn gasps softly, her mind whirling with the implication. Christine's smile is wiped away and replaced by shock and calculation. Meri's eyes glint knowingly, and Janelle leans forward, unable to tear her eyes away. This new witness begins recounting events from years ago, previously hidden moments of betrayal and secrecy that cast Kody in a completely different light. Every word lands like a hammer, echoing through the room. Robyn's chest tightens as memories surface, raw and painful. Cody's hands tremble slightly, the weight of exposure pressing down on him. Christine's demeanor remains sharp, calculating her next move. Meri remains poised, and Janelle is caught in a mix of disbelief and fascination. The session reaches its climax. The witness delivers a final, explosive revelation, a private exchange between Kody and an outside party, directly contradicting his testimony and revealing decisions that affected the entire family. Gasps fill the room. Robyn fights to maintain composure, tears welling as the emotional gravity hits her. Cody's jaw tightens, his mind racing for a way to salvage credibility. Christine leans forward, eyes gleaming with strategy, while Meri studies Cody's every move. Janelle's hands clench as the emotional impact unfolds before her. The judge calls for a short recess, the gavel striking sharply, reverberating through the room. The family remains seated, each absorbed in their own thoughts, aware that the revelations of this session have set a new standard of tension and uncertainty. Kody exhales slowly, trying to regain control, but the weight of exposure hangs heavy. Robyn rests her hand on his arm, offering silent support. Christine observes silently, already plotting her next move. Meri remains calm, and Janelle braces herself, anticipating the continuation of the drama. The courtroom lights are harsher now, late afternoon sun completely gone and replaced by the cold glare of fluorescent lighting. Shadows stretch long across the polished floors, giving the room an almost eerie atmosphere. Kody sits rigidly, every muscle taut, his jaw clenched as he struggles to maintain composure. Robyn leans forward slightly, her fingers trembling as she interlaces them, trying to ground herself amid the storm of emotion. Christine's eyes are sharp, piercing, as though she can see through every lie, every hesitation, every thought Kody tries to hide. Meri sits with an almost statuesque calm, her gaze assessing, calculating, yet betraying a flicker of anticipation. Janelle shifts in her seat, silent, her mind racing with every possible scenario, knowing that one word could change everything. The judge clears his throat, signaling the continuation of testimony. "We will proceed," he announces, voice echoing through the hushed room. Kody swallows hard, the dry scrape of his throat betraying the tension that has settled deep in his chest. Today, he knows, is not about legal formalities. It's about truths, long buried, coming to light. Robyn squeezes his hand lightly, a subtle gesture of reassurance, though neither can escape the weight pressing down on them. Christine leans slightly forward, eyes narrowed, ready to exploit any crack in Cody's composure. The next witness is called, a close confidant of one of the wives, someone who has observed private moments and family interactions for years. Their presence sends a ripple of tension through the room. Cody's eyes widen slightly. Robyn exhales sharply, anticipation and fear mingling in her chest. Christine's lips press into a thin line, a smirk threatening to form as she assesses the new opportunity. Meri's gaze remains steady, analyzing every reaction, while Janelle's hands clench involuntarily in her lap. The witness begins, recounting moments of private tension and unseen conflicts. They describe whispered arguments, hushed conversations, and decisions made without the knowledge of others. Each word lands with weight, painting a picture of a family fractured in ways the public has never seen. Robyn's eyes fill with tears as she recalls events she had tried to forget, moments of fear and frustration brought vividly to mind. Kody shifts uneasily in his seat, aware that every subtle gesture could be interpreted as guilt. Christine leans forward, poised to leverage any inconsistencies. Meri maintains her calm exterior, yet the faintest tightening of her jaw betrays her internal evaluation. Janelle leans forward slightly, captivated and anxious, anticipating what comes next. The witness continues, revealing an incident months ago that Kody had assumed would never resurface. The courtroom is silent, the tension thick, broken only by the occasional scratch of a pen. Christine's eyes glint with strategic calculation. Robyn fights to maintain composure as old memories surge. Kody's jaw tightens as the weight of exposure presses down on him. Meri leans forward slightly, analyzing the room and every reaction. Janelle's heartbeat quickens, each word from the witness striking like a hammer against the fragile trust of the family. The witness drops a bombshell, a conversation that directly contradicts Kody's prior testimony, exposing decisions made in secrecy. Gasps ripple through the room. Robyn's hand flies to her mouth as she struggles to process the emotional weight. Kody swallows, face pale, the strain evident. Christine leans forward, eyes gleaming triumphantly. Meri tilts her head slightly, a subtle acknowledgement of the magnitude of the revelation. Janelle's fingers tighten on her bag, caught between fascination and dread. The lawyer pushes on, taking the testimony apart with preciseness. The witness enumerates more and more hidden moments, financial decisions, emotional neglect, and manipulations that have shaped the family's dynamic. With each word, Robyn's chest tightens as memories rise, feelings of betrayal and fear fighting their way through loyalty and love. Christine's eyes stay sharp, ready to capitalize on any vulnerability. Kody tries to keep himself together, realizing that his story is falling apart piece by piece. Meri listens calmly, her quiet demeanor contrasting with the storm of emotions whirling around her. Janelle leans forward, completely enthralled, each of her senses on high alert. Christine gets up, her voice firm but cutting as she enumerates the elements of deception and betrayal, speaking directly to Kody. Robyn cuts in, her voice shaking but firm, adding context and peeling the layers to show deeper emotional truth. The courtroom listens, mesmerized, each word resounding within the high-ceilinged chamber. Kody's hands are trembling slightly, the effort of control overcome by the mounting evidence. Meri observes silently, her mind cataloging every word, while Janelle's heart races, her interest fully piqued by the intensity of the confrontation. Then, the unexpected happens. A surprise witness is brought forward. The courtroom reacts at once. Kody's eyes widen in complete disbelief. Robyn exhales sharply, anticipation and dread coiling in her stomach. Christine's smirk falters and is replaced by shock and calculation. Meri's eyes glint knowingly, while Janelle leans forward, not able to look away, her hands clenched. A new witness begins recounting events from years ago, those hidden incidents that shed light on the actions of Kody and his alignments. Each word falls like a thunderclap, echoing through the courtroom. Robyn's chest tightens as emotions swirl, ready to break free. Kody's hands shake slightly, his mind racing through the implications. Christine's eyes flash as she evaluates, strategizes. Meri keeps her visage calm while her mind works over every little bit of revelation that comes forth. Janelle's heartbeat increases as she is riveted, caught by anxiety. The witness recounts for the court a private conversation that has taken place between Kody and an outsider, wherein decisions were made outside of the family. The courtroom collectively leans in because it can feel a bombshell revelation is about to drop. Tumultuous memories come flooding back with crystal clearness, and Robyn fights back her emotion. Kody's face tightens, stress evident in every movement he now makes. Christine leans forward, ready to pounce on any inconsistency, while Meri watches with calculated attention. Anticipation and fear hit together in Janelle's chest as her hands shake. The judge calls for a short recess, gavel striking sharply, the echo reverberating like a heartbeat through the tense room. The family remains seated, processing the implications. Kody exhales, trying to regain composure. Robyn rests her hand lightly on his arm, offering a silent anchor. Christine surveys the room, already planning her next move. Meri remains composed, her calmness masking internal calculation. Janelle braces herself, knowing that the next moments will push the family deeper into emotional and relational turmoil. The courtroom is practically stifling now. Each person present seems suspended in a precarious balance, waiting for the next revelation to tip the scales. Kody sits at the front, shoulders tense, hands clenched on the edge of the polished wooden table. Robyn leans slightly forward, her fingers intertwined as her heart races from the weight of the previous sessions. Her eyes scan the room, flitting between Christine, Meri, and Janelle, each carrying her silent thoughts and strategies. Christine sits poised, her sharp gaze locked on Kody, calculating each word that will leave his lips. Meri remains calm, cool composure a jarring juxtaposition against the raw emotion swirling around her. Janelle's hands shake lightly in her lap, anticipation and anxiety mingling in every movement. The judge enters, motioning that the session will continue. "We will proceed," he says, but his voice is firm and measured, though each word is heavier than usual in the tense room. Kody swallows hard, the scrape of his dry throat betraying nervousness. Robyn lays a reassuring hand on his arm. Christine elbows forward, eyes narrowing as if preparing to pounce on any slight mistake. Meri is silent, watching every glance and every twitch with calculated alertness. Janelle sits rigidly, her pulse racing with every tick of the time passing by. The next witness is called, a longtime family insider whose perspective has never been publicly shared. As they approach the stand, the air seems to grow thicker. Kody's eyes widen in recognition of the weight of this testimony. Robyn exhales sharply, her chest tight with anticipation. Christine's lips press into a thin line, a faint smirk playing at the corners of her mouth, as she anticipates the leverage this testimony might provide. Meri tilts her head slightly, eyes glinting with interest, while Janelle leans forward, absorbed entirely in the drama unfolding before her. The witness starts with a slow, deliberate recount of the events in question, interactions between Kody and the wives that were hidden from public view. He speaks of whispered conversations, late-night confrontations, and decisions that carried heavy emotional weights. Each of his words hits one nail after another into the foundation of what Kody thought was tightly controlled. Robyn's chest tightens as memories she had tried to bury resurface. Kody grows uneasy, acutely aware of how even the tiniest hint of a gesture may serve to betray him. Christine has leaned forward, her eyes sharp, ready to take advantage of inconsistencies. Meri is remarkably calm, a stark contrast to the storm of emotion. While Janelle's heartbeat quickens with each word, the lawyer initiates the questioning, each question even more incisive than the last. A witness recalls moments, exposing the cracks in Kody's leadership, fractures in trust, and the moments of personal betrayal. Robyn's lips quiver as she listens, torn between defending herself and the acknowledgement of painful truths. Kody's jaw tightens, the strain evident in the tension of his body. Christine has a barely contained satisfaction in the glint of her eyes as Meri remains stoic and silent, cataloging all the details in a mental file. Janelle sits forward, hands clenched, caught in a mix of fascination and fear. The witness stops suddenly, and the silence in the courtroom becomes palpable. Then, with calculated precision, they drop a secret no one had let on, a conversation that contradicts Kody's prior statements and shows decisions were made without the wife's knowledge. The gasps ripple softly throughout the room. Robyn's mouth is covered, her heart racing as she tries to process the emotional weight. Kody's eyes widen in panic, his face flushing. Christine leans forward in her chair, weighing the strategic advantage. Meri moves her head slightly, quietly acknowledging the impact of the moment. Janelle's hands fist as anticipation and dread collide within her. It gets even more heated as the witness accounts for events of a personal and emotional nature. Robyn's breaths are shallow, memories flooding her mind, moments of frustration, fear, and vulnerability. Kody struggles to maintain composure, aware that every movement, every glance, every word is under scrutiny. Christine's eyes narrow, poised to leverage the unfolding drama. Meri keeps her cool exterior, but she considers every nuance. Janelle leans forward, transfixed, smitten with the unfolding tension. Christine stands up, her voice steady, yet cutting. She talks of moments of betrayal and deception. She addresses Kody directly, pointing out contradictions, emotional flaws, and decisions made in secret. Once, Robyn interrupts, her voice cracking but firm, adding context and exposing the emotional aftermath of these moments. Every word is like a blow to the well-crafted narrative Kody has been trying to hold together in this courtroom. His hands slightly tremble as all attempts at maintaining control are futile against mounting evidence. Meri keeps quiet, calculating with each reaction and nuance. The pulse races in Janelle as she's caught up by the intensity and gravity of the confrontation. Then, a surprise turn of events. Another witness comes forward, one whose information is so volatile that the dynamics in the courtroom change in that very instant. Kody's face blanches, and incredulity is etched into every line of his features. Robyn sharply exhales, feeling anticipation and fear heave in her chest. Christine's smile falters and is replaced by shock and calculation. Meri's eyes glint knowingly, while Janelle leans forward, unable to look away, hands trembling in anticipation. The new witness begins recounting events previously concealed, moments that reveal hidden decisions, betrayals, and emotional fractures. Each revelation lands like a thunderclap, echoing through the courtroom. Robyn struggles to maintain composure, the emotional intensity nearly overwhelming. Kody's hands clench the edge of the table, tension coursing through his body. Christine's eyes flash with strategic precision, while Meri remains calm, her mind cataloging every detail. Janelle's heartbeat races, each revelation cutting deeper than the last. The witness tells them a shocking revelation, a private conversation that Kody had with an outsider, directly contradicting his testimony. The courtroom collectively leans in, as every person in the courtroom is aware this could have monumental consequences. Robyn's chest tightens as emotions surge. Memories of betrayal and hurt collide with her instinct to protect. Kody's jaw tightens, stress and panic written across his movements. Christine leans forward, poised to exploit every nuance. Meri's calm masks a profoundly analytical assessment. Janelle slightly trembles, awed and afraid at the vigor of the drama. The session comes to a head, with tensions high, as the lawyer presses the witness for more detail. Every word a revelation of cracks, hidden agendas, and scars. Robyn's voice breaks as she provides context, the deeper truth of her emotions, ripping right through the courtroom. Kody fights to keep his cool, knowing each utterance erodes a narrative he has so well maintained. Christine stands tall and stoic, sharp eyes never leaving their target, while Meri continues her silent calculation. Janelle's hands clench, her pulse racing, as the courtroom drama reaches its zenith. The judge calls for a short recess, his gavel striking sharply. The sound echoes through the tense room, almost like a heartbeat. The family remains seated, digesting the heaviness of the session. Kody exhales slowly, trying to regain control, while Robyn lays down her hand on his arm lightly, providing a silent anchor. Christine eyes the courtroom, already fielding how to move forward. Meri remains composed, a rock of order within chaos. Janelle mentally prepares herself for the next wave of revelations in this still unfolding story.